All right, now if we want to get even more creative. 11 Labs is really great as an update because it lets you turn anything, let's say, any text, into audio. And what's cool about it is that you can even clone voices. Meaning, you can give it your own voice and it will do cloning, but it probably won't work for you. I'm sorry because you have to record your voice in a really clear way, like in a studio, and you need to have voiceover skills. So, if you don't have voiceover skills, it won't work out. I recorded my voice and told it to clone it, and it kind of worked, but not really. I mean, it's not like when I spoke with, let's say, a professional voiceover artist. The result she got was really impressive. So I got permission from someone named Raka, and she recorded 5 minutes for me. I can write this text. I'm better at classical Arabic, and choose Raka. This is supported because it's a paid subscription service, but I can choose Raka's voice and use it, or I can choose my own voice and use it, and so on. If anyone wants to try it out.
Kindness is more important than wisdom, and recognizing this is the beginning of wisdom.
All right, this is Raka's voice in English. So if anyone wants, they can choose Jessica's voice. Jessica is probably the best option for Arabic. And of course, all of them are available here as well. The really cool update they made here in 11 Labs shows you where things are headed. Just go ahead and start projects, as they say, and lay off the employees. God forbid. I hope none of us here will lay off employees after this session. You can even do radio editing yourselves. What do I mean by radio editing? I mean, you generate sound effects. Like a mod opens the door and you get the sound of a door opening, and then the bird chirps, you hear the bird singing. The bird, like in Hak Malarwa. So you can even create the sound effects and direct them yourself. So even this has become, let's say, one of the nice updates now available. And there's another feature too, which is the voice changer, but honestly, I haven't tried it yet, where you can speak and then it gives you your words in a different voice. Anyone who likes can start doing this. All right, Crook is really great for one thing, but honestly, I don't want to complicate things too much. It's that it produces really nice PDF files. Like, the report comes out neat, cute, and colorful. I'll show you the prompt where I gave them information I had in Arabic. I have a study to transfer something specific. It's a financial study, and I told it to write it for me. But what's the password? Let's go back. This is the password. It assembles charts. It's not good with PDFs. Does anyone know LaTeX? Anyone who's completed a scientific paper. LaTeX is used a lot in scientific research. It's where you create files just by using code. So, for example, if you have a CV or something in a certain file, you handle it with coding. You give it code, and it generates a PDF for you. Like here, for example, I have a book in Arabic. This site is called Overleaf. Of course, I'll share with you the session summary, the links, and so on. So here's the link. For example, you see, I'm doing it in Arabic, but in the end, it's all with code. So if I want to change references, I don't have to change it from here. I just change it from here. I make references into sources. Then I tell it, for example, to recompile, so it replaces references with sources. In other words, it's a file that can be edited with code. What does Croc do? Honestly, its only real strength, and a significant one at that, is that if you explicitly tell it to utilize LaTeX, as I previously mentioned, it will meticulously generate the appropriate LaTeX code for you and subsequently. They have also made an integrated editor specifically for it, so that it ultimately outputs a complete PDF file. That's a really nice feature. I don't know why it's not more popular. It generates PDF files for you. Croc is strong for programming. I made this extension using Grok. With this extension, when you click on it, it gives you a summary of the article. So, For example, if I want to quickly check out, say, this Salamanca news site in Spanish, I'm not in the mood to read a specific article. I don't want to open Google Translate. Let me see what kind of disasters we have in the city today. I just click here quickly and tell it to summarize the article. If you ask me what I did, I forgot. I followed the steps, wanted something, and it said to do 1, 2, 3. It gave me the code, taught me how to installed it, it worked. Happy holidays. We have a raid operation today. Of course, Brie houses were searched. This is, of course, a summary in the way I want it short, or it could be long, and so on. Crook is really strong in programming, so give it a fair shot and try it out. All right, we talked about it now, and we discussed it. Now we want to move on to the agents that you've all been waiting for. I have an agent. What does agent mean, Fadi? An agent is someone who handles more than one thing at the same time. The two most famous agents are Monos and Jens Park. Monos gives you 300 credits every day, so you don't have to bother with the math. Just consider it $3. The nice thing about Monos is that it uses more than one tool at the same time. For example, it can open the internet to do a search. It can also write Python code, combine the results, and give you the final answer. Honestly, it's really impressive, but only if you know exactly what you want. What do I mean by knowing exactly what you want? I mean, you need a task that actually takes time. This is a really important point. Let's say, as an agent, you should think of a task that genuinely requires time, not a task that needs Superman. Notice the difference? Something that just needs time, not a miracle. Let me show you. This is, for instance, something I'm working on as a personal project. For example, I want someone to make me a comprehensive report on a business incubator. And I have an out-of-the-box idea. Instead of investors taking equity, they take, say, a percentage of the profit. So I have a specific mechanism, and I want them to search for me, let's say, on the internet. Calmly. So they search for me calmly, opening websites. Notice here what it's doing. It opens a website and checks the result. When it's done, it gives me all the results in a report. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gives me all the files. If there's code, it gives me the code. If there are images, it gives me the images. Now, the cool example, the one you might say, wow, about. I was talking to a training center. They wanted to submit a proposal. And they want 53 proposals. Can you imagine? And they have an Excel sheet with the program name, its training modules, the target audience, and so on. So they don't want the bot to make things up, just so you don't say, oh, it told me to make things up. No, I already have the modules, but the employee told me if I give this to one of my staff, it won't be done in a week. Can you imagine how difficult this is? Can you imagine how tough it is? And imagine that this could actually be done by an agent. It's a clear task. I explained it to him. I told him, I have 53 programs in an Excel file. I want to give you the Excel file. And I explained the columns to him. The first column has this, the second column has that. And I want you to write for me a proposal for each file. For each program, there's an introduction, program, stakeholder, and objective. I explained it in detail. For example, for the training method, I don't want you to come up with something on your own. This is our training method, such and such and such. I set it as a fixed value for him and told him what output I want. I want the output that I want. It should be a Word file. I gave him the Excel file, and he started working hard for maybe half an hour, if not more. And he started doing them one by one. And of course, he chose the Arabic font. Either he asked me or picked it himself. I told him I want it formatted like a magazine, and I want its size. I mean, I gave him the details. Even after he finished everything, he gave me a file. Let me see if they open or not. I mean, look, quickly. Oh, they're not opening. Let him download them. Sorry, let me share my screen so you can see. Otherwise, you won't really get it. Like they say, you'll only appreciate its importance if. We see it. Honestly, when I sent it to the Institute later, I regretted it because they didn't get the point. So, I mean, he didn't even feel like saying thank you because honestly, he didn't really understand what happened. So he just took it. And that's it, thanks. Let me open it, but where is it? All right, and here's share. Technical proposal. Check this technical proposal for me. Give me an introduction title the way I want, a program stakeholder section the way I want, and module outlines. Take it from the Excel and continue working on it. Take it and build on it, not just take it as is, because the ones who wrote the Excel, some of them didn't even finish it and they just scrolled down. 300 pages. Can you imagine? Honestly, I have no idea. Then I gave it to an employee to do the final formatting. Of course, it needs the same final formatting. It took him 2 or 3 hours. But honestly, Manus is great if you know exactly what you want. But don't try it. I mean, try to explore the topic because you might get excited and say, I wanted to invent the atom and make me a PowerPoint. No, it won't make a PowerPoint because it just won't work out. I mean, what I understand about it is that it's a production machine. If you want to do research, it goes online and looks it up. I have a friend, for example, who had an exam coming up. So he gave me, let's say, the exam questions and the material the professor gave, 400 pages. I went and told the bot, solve this for me so you can figure out where the questions are coming from. I gave it the first file and the second file. It analyzed, wrote Python code, worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. Then it gave me a report with everything he needed to study. It even broke it down in detail here. Separate reports. You need to study this unit. Unit summary. Of course, I talked to my friend and asked him if he benefited. He told me he didn't benefit. Why not? Because he had to study the material, so it didn't help him. I asked him, what should we do? If now the professor brings questions from the whole curriculum, what can he do? There's nothing he can do. But notice here, when they separated things like this, it was smart of the Spanish guy to even give the percentage for each part. Like, he thought cleverly. 180 questions from these sections, 58 from this, 26 from that. So if you don't want to study this part, if you don't have a supplement, it doesn't really contribute much. But regardless, we don't recommend that. So for students, the MANS is really great in this context. Now, what's even better than MANS is GenSpar, which I finally gave in and subscribed to. It combines language models with a smart touch, so it can do multiple things at once. Take this example, for instance, the person who came up with it is actually here with us, so please. So, don't say anything now. I mean, Fadi, that's what it means. Like they say, if you made the example here, it means it didn't work. No, it's not related. Honestly, we worked on it just like they say. We gave it this example. The report I'm working on, I gave it to him. The report is my own work. The report isn't someone else's work. I mean, I told him to turn it into a complete presentation for me. So what did it do here? This is the point that's honestly really nice and golden. In this case, what it did was it wrote a really nice HTML code. And after it wrote this HTML code, what did it do? It converted it to PowerPoint. So let's say here it made one mistake. I told it to fix it. Okay, now notice the final look. I don't know if I'm exaggerating or not. Honestly, I tried to be neutral and sent it to several people. They told me it looks good. Let's just say, to sum it up, it's good and it works. Yeah, I mean, let's be clear, we're not saying it's amazing, like you'd send it to a global company. But it gets the ideas across, solves a problem, and you could even give it to a designer at the very least. So instead of having to redraw these charts, he can just take them from here, copy them from here, and so on. Of course, let me tell you again where the trick is. This is HTML code. You can display it from here, and of course you can export it as a PDF. It comes out looking nice. The really great thing about GenSpar, honestly, is that it gives you all the templates together. So if you subscribe to it, you can work with DVC, work with Cloud, and work with Gemini all in one place. So you choose the template you want for generating video. For example, I tried it. You pick one of the video generation templates and it gives you credits. It only gives you 200, which is not much, but you can top up these credits yourself. I mean, I'm subscribed monthly and it automatically renews, so it doesn't really cost much. Honestly, it could be useful for agents. If you need it today, you pay for it. If you don't, then you don't have to. Another nice feature it has is something called Super Agent, which combines several functions together. For example, if it needs YouTube, it reads the way it needs to, and if it needs to download something, it downloads it accordingly. So it combines a few things like that, which aren't available in language models, but are present in programming. AI Sheet analyzes data. This slide one makes slides, and another cool thing is AI Drive. I tried it today, and honestly, it's really great. For example, when I'm making a PowerPoint and I need some logos, I just tell it to find me logos for Chad and Clout and download them for me. I ask it to look for videos and download those too. So here, you all can. I mean, let's say it becomes. You can actually run it as an agent. Like before I got to the office, I was out and about. This is a trivial thing, but it takes time. If you need to open 4 different sites on Google and get the logos from them, and so on. I told it quickly, let's see how fast it is, just so I could check the conversation. Find me the logo and download them for me into the folder. That's all there is to it. Simply search for and download the logos you need. Honestly, it's powerful, but of course it needs some testing. We know, like you say, it doesn't have Superman powers. It's just behind the scenes, but when you put a few things together like this, it makes us go, wow. Honestly, that's the whole story. I mean, that's how they confuse us, as they say. So that's the deal. Now, the last one, I didn't mention it in the PowerPoint, but I'll talk about it quickly now. It's Replit. The nice thing about Replit is that it's an assistant for programming. But if you want to be a programmer in one way or another, at least it gives you the idea. And if it's more advanced, it gives you even more. And you get a prototype and this prototype. I mean, it could be really great. Look at this example, for instance, a Japanese prototype. Let me open it for you so you can see the instructions. Honestly, you can't really tell, the difficulty from the ease. Let's just wrap up what we talked about. So I went and wanted a program that converts speech, like I speak, it writes, and then translates. Turns out, if I told it to make this program, it wouldn't come up with anything useful. So what should I tell it? As a programmer, I need to give it the path, the library. I mean, I have to look for it myself. So I went to Grok and told it about my idea, and it advised me, helped me, and taught me. It actually told me that Google has the service. Honestly, I didn't even know that Google had the service, so I signed up with Google. I think it charges by the hour, maybe $10 or more. I'm not sure. I don't really remember the exact amount. And after that, I gave it the comments and then I told it. I didn't tell it, go, you and your lord, and fight. Look, it's like I'm talking to a programmer. God help us. Hopefully, this won't end up affecting programmers later on. Now, it's as if I'm talking, let's say, to a programmer and giving them this context. Let's say I want an app that talks, and so on, and I go along with it. Let's say step by step fix, correct. I need to know how to solve it. It's like you're talking to someone and everything is fair, so no one ends up feeling shortchanged in the end. I don't know if it's working while we talk. Let's try. For example, if I told it from Arabic to English. Hello, warm greetings to everyone. I'm truly delighted and very happy to be with you all today in this important session to discuss the very latest and most significant news regarding artificial intelligence. Break time equals 0.5s/. Notice, this is a really cool prototype, but it stopped while we were talking. It could solve a problem. You could then give it to a programmer to solve. It could solve small problems for you. What do you mean by small problems for you? I mean, when someone asked me that they want to do something within an application, you could build with this application, give it the documents, give it the API, and go step by step with it. For example, I give you an audio file and you convert it to formal Arabic for me. So you can build any prototype you want. These are the ideas I want to cover today. Yeah, let's say, that's it. I mean, maybe the future is coming now. Maybe we'll talk more about another update, which is employment. Let's say, using agents in programming and building prototypes, building interfaces one way or another. Of course, you will definitely need to have some fundamental programming ideas and concepts to adequately cover this particular topic. Trust me, I'm not saying we should do away with programming, but you can at least prototype. Instead of telling the programmer, this is what I mean, and then he interprets it. Maybe we have someone like that with us now. Maybe I know him. I send 20 voice messages, get 20 replies. At least you get an answer. You know, with the bot, you might end up burning through $10 or $20, but that's still cheaper than burning $20 an hour on a programmer. So, one way or another, at least this feature is there. If you give it something, it'll come up with something. Don't forget to tell him the same thing. Tell him, bro, I tried translation and followed Google, and it made a terrible interface. And here's the code if you want to stick with it or start over from scratch. So this point is really great. If you'd like, I can summarize the most important updates we've had in the past month or the recent period. Today, our session is going to be long. We're talking about a really long period. I'll try to make it as regular as possible. The thing is, we have some major updates in audio and video that are making things almost realistic. The agents that connect multiple things together can really open up a lot of possibilities. Honestly, especially when they start communicating with each other. Like, I make an agent that creates a problem, and another one solves it. You have one agent talking to another agent. The progress in language models. I honestly think there's not much more progress left. How much further can it really go? That's it, nothing more beyond this. Now, real progress is happening with agents and in programming, and it's only going to get bigger. Context. This could really open up a lot. Let's say new horizons. That's most important. Remember, there's always a trick, a little hack. I'm the first to pull off this trickery. We tweak the result a bit. We do some touch ups, change the prompt a little so that it comes out, let's say, closer to perfection. And after that, if it surpasses expectations, people might attribute it to AI. Sometimes I might even make a video where one scene is AI generated and the other isn't, and I put them together. In the end, my goal is production, not to show off AI skills. The last video I made like this, some people thought the whole thing was AI. But in the end, the point isn't whether you think it's AI or not. I have an idea I want to express, and I expressed it, created content, and produced it. I used AI. I used a ready-made library. I got the result. I edited it together like any trick in editing, just like any creative work.